Hey, Ed here from Precision Gun Reviews, and today we're taking a look at a belt. This is a gun belt made by Comp-Tac Victory Gear. You've seen their holsters on our channel before, so I wanted to see if their belts would deliver as high a quality and be as satisfying as those holsters. This is the Kydex reinforced leather contour belt with an MSRP of $99.99. So we've had this here at PGR for quite a while. It's about a 5-month review that we're looking at here, worn just about every day. This belt has been worn quite a bit by me personally. This is the tapered version. It's sort of the, I guess, non-standard version of the belt. You can get it in a 1.5 inch full length, or this 1.5 inch tapering down to 1.25 inch in the front for what they say is a dressier look, or for more comfort while in a seated position. This is actually the one part of this belt that I am not pleased with. I think it's my mistake for not requesting a full-size, full-thickness belt, because here I find in the end the leather is just a lot more flimsy than you see on the rest of the belt. Now, that doesn't speak to the quality of the item on a whole, because you can see here all the stitching is very nicely done, all even, very uniform, high quality workmanship on this belt. And there's I don't know if it's visible, but there's a portion here where you can see the Kydex insert, and that's what this center stitch line is for, is to hold that in place. And that goes to right there. And as I was saying, the thinner portion of the leather feels flimsy, but there's a section of leather here that is the full thickness, but it doesn't have the Kydex inserted, and it's still, this is still a very rigid part of the belt. So I wouldn't say that that's any fault of Comp-Tac. It's just physics. A thin belt like this is, I wouldn't recommend for carrying a gun and holster or equipment on. But luckily, that's not the portion that you generally carry on. And the portion that you do carry on is this Kydex reinforced bit, and that's sort of the cleverness of this belt, is that it does have that reinforced Kydex portion, and that makes for a very rigid piece of leather and Kydex, and you can't really tell, because the other interesting and delightful thing about this belt is that when it's around your waist, it is actually tapered at an angle here. It comes that way so that it's comfortable. Now, I have another gun belt, which I'll be reviewing in a matter of days, that is also very high quality, very rigid, perhaps more rigid than this one even, or maybe that's just an illusion because it's not as comfortable. And this one is more comfortable because of this contour, this taper on the belt, which that alone makes it a very high value item in my opinion, because they take the time to realize that this is something that you're going to be wearing every day. So as I said, it's a high quality constructed item. You got 2 loops here with that fine stitching, and 3 Chicago screws in between those and on either end, holding in this overlapped piece of leather. This is only single thickness, whereas the rest of the belt is a double thick piece, obviously to hold that Kydex in between. One thing that I'm not super impressed with, for the price, the buckle is I honestly don't know if it came like this, but after 5 months, you see this portion is ugly, whereas this part is it looks new. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is with that, but I wouldn't say that if you're really into the fashion of it, you would be pleased with that, because I wouldn't. Honestly, I don't care. This is a this is a utilitarian thing for me, but you know, it's something to note. Otherwise, the belt is held up pretty well. It's wrinkled, you know, it's seen its share of wear, but you know, it's not getting scratched, it's not wearing away for a belt that you wear every day. Now, I don't think it is the most rigid belt you can get, despite having the Kydex inside. I think it's a fairly thin piece of Kydex. You know, Kydex comes in a variety of thicknesses. As we saw with the Comp-Tac holsters, they're very thick Kydex, whereas something like a Bravo concealment is a thinner Kydex. And in this case, I would think maybe a thicker piece would lead to a little bit more rigidity. Still, having worn this and carried with it, it has been obviously leagues above a belt you would get at a clothing store, at a department store, or anything like that. Clearly better than a Walmart belt. And it holds your weapon tightly and securely against your body. Now, this portion, I said I don't really like the fact that it's thinner, and part of that is because I don't think it really has any benefit for me personally. It's supposedly it's supposed to make it look dressier, and I could understand that, except it ends very soon after these holes. If it maybe went to here, it would give you a more uniform size across the front of your body, but as it is, it kind of ends, and I'm a thin guy too, so like it kind of ends pretty soon. It's just this little bit that's actually small, and then you see it get bigger, and then it's bigger around the back. So I don't really buy that it's for dressiness. I guess if you find the belt uncomfortable at full thickness, this could make it more comfortable. But to be honest with you, it's super comfortable as it is. It's definitely the most comfortable gun belt I've really even tried on, you know, that suggested that it had any sort of retention power. So that's really the huge benefit about this, and I think that's really what you're paying for, is that attention to comfort as well as utilitarianism. So I would recommend this belt, and I would recommend it in the 1.5 inch thickness. And as you can see here, it's a very thick piece of leather too, from you know, the inside to the outside. Other thing people notice on a lot of their belts is that they see wear on the top edge of the belt. This one doesn't really show it. It kind of comes with a somewhat rough edge to begin with, but it looks like it belongs that way. So yeah, it's definitely a good looking belt. It also comes in black with a chrome buckle and screws, as opposed to the brown with the brass buckle, and with the sort of more rugged looking one. I already have a black belt. But yeah, definitely good looking belt, definitely stands up to wear and tear, and I would definitely say it's worth picking up. But do yourself a favor and don't try to be fancy. Just get it in the single thickness. That's the Comp-Tac Victory Gear Kydex reinforced leather contour belt. Yeah, definitely a solid belt, and I think you won't be disappointed with this. This is Ed from Precision Gun Reviews. As always, give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and definitely subscribe to our channel for more reviews in the future. Until next time, as always, stay safe.